Jim is.
Where?
In the hut by the ash hopper. Didn't you see a slave go in there at dinner with some food?
Yeah.
And who do you think that food was for?
The dog.
Do dogs eat watermelon?
Come to think of it, I did see the watermelon, but I never really thought about it like that.
When the slave went in with the food, the door was locked. The lock means there's a prisoner in there, and the food means that prisoner is a man, and that man is Jim. Let's both sit here and think of a way to help get him out. Any ideas?
I got one.
All right.
So the first dark night that comes, we steal the key, bust Jim out, and he and I set off on the raft just like old times.
Huck, that's way too simple.
I knew he wouldn't like it. His plans are always better, more stylish. And Tom, you don't have to
Didn't I say I was going to help you?
Yes.
Well, then there's your answer. It's too simple. You have to invent all the difficulties. But I guess we can't avoid that. We're going to have to let on that using a lantern will be risky. But anyways, back to the plan. We're going to need to start work on a saw as soon as possible.
What saw?
What saw? The saw we're going to use to saw the leg off Jim's bed so we can loosen the chain.
Why can't we just lift the bed up and slip the chain off?
You ever read a book where they just lift the bed and slip the chain off? Oh, we're also going to need a rope ladder and a moat.
Why moat if we're going to dig him out?
It'll never do.
What'll never do?
Sawing Jim's leg off, of course.
Good land, of course that'll never do. Where'd you get that idea?
That happens in some of the best stories. But anyways, back to the rope ladder. We could sneak it into him in a pie.
Tom swear Jim has no use for a rope ladder.
He does have use for a rope ladder. Everybody has use for a rope ladder.
What do we do with it?
He could hide it in his bed for a clue.
All right, but I'd rather give him a hickory bark ladder. It's more practical.
Huck Finn, no, I've never heard of a prisoner escaping with a hickory bark ladder.
Oh, fine. Want me to just go borrow a sheet off the clotheslines?
Borrow a shirt too, so Jim can keep a journal on it.
Jim can't write.
He could still make marks. We could make a pen out of a pewter spoon.
Why can't we just give him a feather pen?
Prisoners don't just have geese running around. They have to make pens out of the sturdiest material possible.
Okay, but what do we use for ink?
He could use his blood. He could write on the bottom of a tin plate and throw it out the window. That's what the man in the Iron Mask did.
They feed him in a pan, though.
We can steal him some plates.
Will anyone be able to read them?
That's not the point. He just needs to make marks.
And then why waste somebody's plate?
Why would he care?
I think I just heard the breakfast horn. Let it go.
After several failed attempts at planning, Tom and Huck finally come up with a plan to dig Jim out. Tom and Huck retire for the night, and the next morning they decide to make the acquaintance of a slave who brings Jim food.
Going to feed the dogs?
Yes, a very, very curious dog indeed. Want to see him?
Sure.
It's not the time.
It is now.
Huck, are you seeing that Tom?
Does he know you?
Does who know us?
Is this your runaway?
Where did you get that idea?
Where? He just called you out like he knew you.
No one called us.
I didn't hear anything. Did you say anything?
You don't say anything?
Nothing?
Nothing.
Did you ever see them before?
Not that I know
Where did you get the idea that someone called us?
Must be witches.
Don't ever let on that you know us. And if you hear people digging, it's us. We're trying to set you free.
Wow.
What are you doing?
Oh, I borrowed this watermelon from the slave garden.
Huck Finn, that's stealing and you know it. We only steal what we need to help Jim escape. How does a watermelon help do that? You better go back, pay back the slaves right now. Everything's ready, except for the tools.
Tools?
We're not going to chew Jim out. We're going to dig.
Aren't the old tools all right?
It's better to use case knives to dig foundations out from under the cabin.
Tom Sawyer, that's foolish and you know it.
I don't care if it's foolish. It's the right and only way to do it. Guess how long it took a man to dig out with a case knife in one of the stories I read?
I don't know, a month and a half.
No, 37 years. He dug straight through a rock and wound up all the way in China.
First of all, Jim doesn't know anyone in China, and he's way too old to wait 37 years. And second off, stop wandering off the issue at hand.
He would too last. It doesn't take 37 years to dig through dirt.
Well, how long would it take, Tom?
Well, we can't risk it taking too long. Uncle Silas will hear back soon that Jim's not from New Orleans, and he'll start to advertise him. I would rather take a few years to carry out the plan, but we don't have that much time.
Oh, you're finally starting to make sense. I better go swipe a couple of table knives.
Oh, get 3 of them so we can make a saw out of one of them.
Tom, sir, there's an old saw sticking out from the back of the smokehouse.
It isn't any use. Now run along and get knives. 3 of them.